and do it fast. It's time for the Evercast. Are you ready to greet Ed, Rich, Crow, and Pete as they talk Evercade? Good times will never fade. Put away the switchblade, sheath the sword of Vienna. Stop the blaster master, there's no enemy below as we dip into euphoria. Turn on, tune in, and do it fast. It's time for the Evercast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Evercade podcast. My apologies for not having it ready and good to go ahead of time. What's up, everyone?
Yeah, I was sitting there I'm waiting. It was like 10 minutes before we were about to start. I'm like, I don't see a stream. Are we doing this? Did I miss something?
I usually try to create it earlier in the week, and I guess the muscle.
Usually do it on Thursday. You have it done on Thursday. I get it. Oh, okay, yeah, Thursday. And I just realized, I'm looking. I was like, I don't see a post. I don't see anything.
No. I spaced. I'm glad you said something because I was like, oh. But better late than never. So yeah, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you are.
Or good evening.
Good
middle of the
morning.
Yeah, Rich may join us from under the closed location. He may Gandalf in.
He's at breakfast with his parents right now at a Boston's Best Breakfast.
What? Wait,
So
what?
Sammy's something Boston's Best Breakfast.
Oh, come on. There's not going to be a fight every week.
Oh, I know. I know. I was like, glad we could be entertaining. I was like, really? Welcome, DF.
Well,
who else do we have?
There's other podcasts where everybody just agrees with everything that Blaze does and smokes, grass all the time. Like, you could do that, but I mean, the whole point of a podcast is people's in their opinions. Like, that's life.
True.
Yeah, we don't script fights. We don't plan on it.
No.
I wish they would evolve into a physical fight. That could be fun.
How could that happen? We're completely different.
We all get exercise. Yeah.
Right. All right, I think we got some people people found us. So let's see who do we have in the chat. We got Retro Dean 66. We got some members like Genejoke, Joe Whitlash. Love saying that. Low JRM. We got Zarifab. Sorry, I totally bastardized that. We got Rob Taylor, Darren Chapman. I already said hi to DF. Archive Gig, Dan Ruff, Immortal Battle of the Beards. And Andres 4. All right. And those who were lurking in the shadows. Oh, okay. So was was the news this week more exciting than the showcase?
Yes, I would agree with that. That was the most surprising thing I've heard from Blaze in a long. Or didn't hear anything from Blaze.
No, we didn't.
That's
hear
what we.
What's the news?
Namco carts now working your Evercade.
But you didn't hear that from Evercade.
No, we didn't hear that from Blaze. That's what's even more surprising about it.
I think it's a bug. I honestly think it's a bug. That's what I'm saying.
Well, somebody was like, "I'm updating all my VSs, and just in case."
Yeah, that's what I did. I updated my VSs, and
I updated one. I don't know if I'm gonna pull out the other ones to update them. I don't know.
I updated two of my VSs.
I think the white one still has Donut Dodo on it.
Since they're so quiet, and they went into the Easter break, and this happened before the Easter break, and it started working, and they didn't say anything about it. Leads me to believe it's either a cool marketing thing or it's a
they did update the website to say that all carts now work in all Evercade devices, so they they did it. Okay. They didn't announce it, and I'm thinking that maybe the reason they didn't announce it is because those Namco carts are legacy carts, so they're not so easy to go get. So it's not like you can, these carts now work, I'm going to go run out and get them. I don't think that's an easy, especially Namco too.
Did Namco spike in prices on eBay, I wonder?
It will. It probably will.
I really didn't look.
So then the question we have to, it's like one or two scenarios, is like either the licensing finally up with that, or like Blaze is like, no, we're not going to get Namco, or is it a preview that maybe we will get a Namco arcade? So they're like, yeah, we might as well let people play Namco.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they finally, the whole reason was because Namco wouldn't agree to have their carts play on a device that only output to the television. Yes, the handhelds, no for consoles, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that we're going to see more Namco stuff now.
Yeah,
Now that
I think so. I think
That's what
they
I'm
just sold for like they're selling for like $100 now.
each.
Shoot. Yeah. So
Ooh.
like 95 Canadian plus $30 shipping on eBay sold yesterday or day before. So that's like $100, almost $100. Late, maybe 80, $90 American. So
yeah, I think I think that's why they didn't really announce it, is because those carts are legacy and they're not so easy to get anymore.
yeah.
Well, not only that, but as we know, Blaze has already for some reason had logistic problems, and people are complaining as they can't buy like the Toplin collections and
White Coat was shipped to me last week though, the Tomb Raider collection and the Atari arcade collections. So I should have those on Tuesday.
Oh, actually,
I'm hoping to get those later. Yeah, I think they're out.
you're talking about these?
Oh, you
Yeah.
got yours already?
Yeah, I'm not. It's going to be a while before I open them, but I have them.
Mine got shipped, but because of Easter, there's like no mail yesterday and no mail on Monday. So
sadly though, those might be the last carts I buy for Video Games Plus. So I don't know if he's in the chat, but Crashline, who lives in Ontario, Canada, he said he spoke to Video Games Plus, and he said they're not going to carry. I don't know if it's true or not, but he said they're not going to carry Evercade anymore, which would be sad because of the tariffs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I still have the orders through them, so I wonder if they're going to cancel that if they're just not going to carry it.
Here he is, Crashline. So put in the chat. Did you speak to them personally? Was it through email, or what's the lowdown on Video Games Plus? Because I know you made a comment like saying that they weren't going to carry Evercade anymore. So elaborate.
it's too bad.
Yeah. Although I did ask, like my order went through on Songbird, and right now it's on hold, and they didn't say that it wouldn't. They didn't say that it wouldn't go through for the next carts. So yes, I did just summon you. Spill it. You just kidding. Yes, you made a comment and said you talked to Video Games Plus about them not carrying Evercade. Elaborate. So yeah, that would be kind of sad. I'm hoping those next two cards. But wouldn't it be crazy though if the other card to go to Neo Geo was Namco Arcade 1? I think that would be awesome.
Or they may be doing like a super Namco Super Pocket sometime in the future.
I can see that. That would be sad though. That would be sad though. But supposedly though that the Neo Geo Super Pocket D-pad is better. And it might be a little bit better, but I keep telling, I don't know if Ryan's lurking in the chat. I'm like, well, you guys need to send me one and I'll test it. And then he stopped talking when I said that. So I thought that was great. If it's really that improved. I will say though, it is neat though, being able to use a VS controller and actually play those collections, Namco collections. And I have like the awkwardness of like an HDMI cable and then have to have like a converter, and it is a lot better. Now we just need to get the Capcom collections onto a cart to be able to play on the VS, so that would be complete. You ate an Easter egg a day? What? I ate an Easter egg a day early. I'm so ashamed.
Okay. Like, how did you eat them? Are they, you just, I assume you ate, what you really need, it's to say, was you ate an hard-boiled egg every day.
Oh, so he said he spoke to them. He said he told me that that the tariffs were impacting their ability to stock the games, and they have removed the future listings, so we shouldn't count on them selling Evercade really anymore. That could change the politics.
Well, yeah. I don't want to get too political, but I really don't think those tariffs would affect those Evercade games. The way they keep changing, I think it's just going to affect anything coming from China.
I really hope that they don't, because I mean, for one, so the prices of course the carts have gone up to $5, but I miss getting two carts for like $36 shipped, and they have like impeccable customer service. Yeah, Crow's right. Yeah. Let's hope so. If I have to bite the bullet and spend a little more money, I won't feel guilty supporting Songbird. But no, it's interesting because it kind of occurred to me, like I was thinking about last night, that like if Blaze wanted to, they like to manage logistics. Like, let's say you actually went to Evercade.com or whatever and bought a cart. They could leverage and have stock in the US, or they could leverage sending it from like, let's say Songbird or some other, or like even Video Games Plus, but then they would lose a cut. So I'm like,
well, yeah, I guess it depends on when they told you, because the whole tariff thing keeps changing daily. as last I heard, electronic devices wouldn't even be affected by it at this point.
Although Switch 2, like my little pixel of the video showing, mainly like the accessories and some stuff went up by like $5, like not too big of a deal. Oh, they do.
But again, they just may have raised the prices and just used the tariffs as an excuse, you know.
Oh, they want to get out. Have you seen? Oh, so Toplum 3 and 4 have all been back in stock. That's good, but back on Evercade.com though. Could increase. We'll see increase in price. I mean, that's at least that's better. But like not having them even be sold. But yeah, I'm curious, Crow, to see if you get yours.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I don't. When are they coming out? Like next month or something?
I think so. Yeah, they're supposed to be Maze carts.
Yeah, I'll probably forget about it, and I'll just get in the mail. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's right." And I like what happened with these.
I guess Americans don't understand the concept of a chocolate egg traditionally set on Easter Sunday.
What?
I guess not. I mean, I've eaten chocolate egg. Yeah. No, I know over there in the UK. I know you'll get like you get Friday off, and you get Good Friday off, and you get like Easter Monday off. Which I was happy that actually I got. I've never.
Wait. The concept of a chocolate egg you traditionally sat on Easter Sunday. I've never heard of sitting on a chocolate egg.
Yeah,
RMGP will have to explain.
The only chocolate eggs I really know of are Cadbury eggs.
That's what I thought he was talking about.
But I wonder if that's not a typo, and he's really talking about sitting on an egg.
Hey, good morning. Eat. Oh, you meant eat. So yeah, we'll have to. we'll have to see. You sit on them until they hatch. That's a weird tradition you guys have over there. But yeah, I really do hope that this is a hint that we're going to get some more Namco stuff because I think getting Namco Arcade would be huge.
Well, hopefully they're M&M branded eggs, chocolate eggs, because they would melt in your mouth, not in your pants.
That's great.
That's weird.
Top of the morning to you as well.
Oh yeah, it is Easter tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. But yeah, that was really all in the news. I mean, that, and I guess what we're supposed to find out in what cart we're getting in May, maybe like at the end of this month. Trying to think what other one. Yeah, no, Namco Arcade would be enormously awesome. I think that would be one of the biggest gets. I know, like in the arcade one-up world and all that. I guess it's not a big deal since they've always had Pac-Man, but it would be a big deal to us because I mean, like who hasn't heard or played some version of Pac-Man?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Soul Calibur.
Do you think if they did an arcade, Namco Arcade, they do just the arcade versions of like Dig Dug and Pac-Man, stuff like that? Or would they be a combination of that?
Good question.
Right.
Or would we get like Miss Pac-Man instead? I don't know. The licensing is kind of weird between the two.
Yeah.
So Calibur too powerful. I don't know. Maybe. I think if it was tweaked, it could run. But I think that might be the limit.
I mean, Miss Pac-Man
I don't know.
Is the better game, but I played more of Pac-Man than Miss Pac-Man.
Honestly, for me, I actually like Pac-Man more than Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. I think I have a lot more nostalgia for it. Like, I mean, Miss Pac-Man is just... I played a lot of Pac-Man at the arcade and on the NES, so... Just the music and the sound is just so soothing when you hear, like, Pac-Man being played. I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, the whole licensing thing with Miss Pac-Man, because what it boils down to, I think, is whether or not the device that's being played on has a coin slot or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's still. But definitely having that up to like having the games like I know some people were saying it was like a fluke. I'm like, no. I'm like they may mistakenly like what would make, I think regardless Blaze planned on making the Namco collections playable, they could have mistakenly released that code in an earlier update. Like that I would I would believe, and then now they can't go back. But I don't know. I think it was planned. I think the Easter egg video, which by the way, I don't know about you guys, I found it to be like very boring. They were just, it's just like the typical Easter eggs that they've talked about in Evercade games since the beginning of Evercade.
Well, yeah, I saw that article and I was like, oh, yeah, I've already looked up all the Easter eggs for all the games that have already come out. So
Yeah.
you're not going to be telling me anything new.
Yeah, what's funny, and again, kind of like Blaze doing things backwards. They'll spend 6 minutes and make that video, but they'll only spend like 1 minute, like on the trailers of like new game.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I think.
Well, I do, because if you're talking about Easter eggs, you have to explain how to do them and what they do. If it's just the trailer, all you got to do is show 5 seconds of a game clip, and that's it.
I still think they can make their trailers a little bit more interesting, though.
I mean, that may be true, but really, I get all I really need out of those trailers, and that is the cart and what games are on the cart. That's all I need to know. You could give that to me. You don't even need to make a video for that. You could just hand me a sheet of paper.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but here's kind of the thing, and that I've realized, like the main I guess here's the main issue when I thought about like when it comes down to Blaze. It's the disorganization and not like the consistency, right? Like for me, like in life and in my job, I'm very organized, and I feel like I take pride in what I do. And then kind of with Blaze, I just feel like they just kind of nonchalant, like things kind of happen and they do it kind of whenever they want, and they don't explain themselves, and they're not consistent. And then when they say like, oh well, the carts for 2026 have already been planned, like they have the licensing, then I'm like, well, what are you guys doing? And that's what drives me nuts, right? That's what drives me nuts. And I'm like, if they could just be consistent,
well,
like
that's
yeah. I think that.
Well, here's what I'm talking about with the trailer. And Andre 4S saying that the trailer for Atari Arcade 2 is too short. You don't understand what some of the games are about. But to that I say, hey, there's a game I don't recognize. I would actually look it up and find out more about it.
Yeah, I think most people are like that, right?
So I don't like it's, to me it's fine. I don't need to explain every detail about every game that they're showing.
Yeah, but I think there's still room for them to be more than 30 seconds, though, Crow.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, seriously, like, the industry is like, that's not normally a norm. Usually it's around a minute to 90 seconds, right? To show a little bit more of the game.
But so you're just saying instead of 30 seconds, the video should be a minute?
Well, a bit longer, show a little bit more of the interesting parts of the game, right? Like, could be different levels, or could be like splashes on levels and stuff like that, right? Not everybody has the time to go and do the deep research, and if you're going to grab somebody's attention quickly, you could say, "Oh, right, it's 3-minute video, boom," and they go, "Oh, that looks interesting." I don't know.
It just seems like that they're just throwing up because they have to. Like I don't really see like the passion behind it. It's like, yeah, we got to do this. Here's the trailer. That's all. I don't.
Yeah, the trailers are fine for me. Like, because I'm like you, Crow. I'll just go and look at them myself. I'm just thinking more for new players and stuff. Maybe it's they could tease a little bit more. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not a marketing guy, though.
A lot of the games is like, yeah, I know that when I know that. Maybe there's like 2 out of 10 of them or something that I really don't know much about. So I don't need an explanation of all 10 games. I just need the 2 that I'm not really familiar with.
Or just do something a little bit like more creative, like they did like with the VS. You know, they just, I don't know, put a little more effort. That, and then like the biggest thing is logistics. Like I still don't understand after 5 years how they haven't gotten that figured out. Like people are wanting to buy their carts and they're not available. You know, kind of stuff like that. Or there's no talk about legacy carts, maybe going back and revisiting them, but removing the titles I don't have licensing for. It's kind of like I feel. So here's what I think Blaze. Actually, I kind of bring this up because I thought about this like when I was live last night. I think the problem is Blaze's focus is too much on new customers versus their existing customers. In other words, they're more focused on selling a super pocket versus like the existing customers who have already spent money into the Evercade ecosystem. I don't think Blaze could survive if they lost their existing customer base if they're just trying to rely on new customers.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's like with the super pocket, the reason I think they keep coming out with super pockets is because it's being very profitable for them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because people keep buying them for some reason. Dang it. Maybe it's the people. So no, I just honestly I feel like with the super buckets for the amount of money that you get compared to other handhelds out there.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it is better quality than something from my arcade, and you also have the functionality of being able to put in any Evercade cartridge. So it is kind of a better product. I still think it's a bit too much, but then again, I think the my arcade ones are too much too. So
yeah, no, my arcades I think are junk. I don't think they're. I mean, I'll just flat out say that I don't think they're good quality at all. They're better than that, but like I'm just like if you compare it to like an Ambernick or some of those other like handhelds for around like the same price, that's all. It's like you would expect a little bit more. See, I would think, but carts though were a low risk proposition because if you order those in batches, I would imagine that those are probably like really cheap to create. Maybe not. I don't know.
I would think that it would cost. I don't know how much things cost to make, but I would assume that it costs maybe just a little bit more to create an Evercade cartridge than it would be an SD card. But then again, there are a little bit more extra costs involved in that because you do have to take care of packaging and a manual. You don't really have to do that with an SD card.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll kind of have to see. What else? Oh, I guess I better go to polls. What did I ask people? So I was really curious what people were excited. Got 100 votes, not too bad. What people were hoping to see in the Part 2 showcase. Like they want more Neo Geo and arcade. I initially was just going to put more Neo Geo, but I lumped that in with arcade.
Oh, did they announce the Part 2 showcase?
No.
Oh.
Did they say that the other part was a Part 1?
They did. I think they did say that the Part 2. Well, that like we have to find out what the other cart for Neo Geo ships in May. I think there was some talk in Discord. I'm just going on what people have been.
I don't think another showcase has been announced.
There's one in May. Okay, there's one in May. Yeah, see, I thought, people, another big IP. Notice hardware and accessories. Notice that's like at the most bottom. And then something else. More RPGs, new indie titles, more hilarious reactions to carts from Ed. I'm like, yeah, I can guarantee I can do that. More carts, less hardware. I'm fed up with the new Super Pockets. You want to
personally? I don't really have a wish list. I'm just curious as to what direction they go, what they're going to.
Yeah, me too. With. Yeah, I'm like interesting to see what they're going to do for sure. I mean, obviously there's Neo Geo because they've been pumping that, so I guarantee it'll drip feed more Neo Geo.
Yep, there'll have to be a volume 2 probably in the next.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Did they name the Namco? Yeah. Did they name the Neo Geo Volume 1? I can't remember.
Yes, it is called Volume 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any Volume 1s or Collection 1s that never did get a Collection 2?
I think so. Yeah, let me look, see if I could find it.
Yeah, there's that. I think there's at least one or two things.
Let's see.
We
got a Mega Cats 2. Jalico. What about Jalico? Did we get a Jalico Collection 2?
No, we haven't.
We got Jalico Arcade, and I think is there a second Jalico Arcade as well?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's 2 of them then. We got a Jalico Arcade one and a Jalico Art Collection one. I have to double check this. There's a Worms Collection one.
Oh,
I think that is Collection 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Irem.
Okay, Irem, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few that we didn't get to the second part.
Oh, Technos Arcade 1. There's no Technos Arcade 2, is there?
No.
Let's see here. Team 17 Collection 1.
That's right. And then I've heard people say that supposedly, like in November, we're going to get 2 more Super Pockets this year.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, me neither. I'm sure they'll do it. But I mean, what did we get? We got 2 announced just now, right?
Yes, Data East and the Neo Geo one.
Yeah, I got the Neo Geo one. I'm not getting the Data East one.
See, I pre-ordered the Neo Geo one. When I get it, I don't know if I'm going to keep or sell the Capcom and Taito ones that I have. So to me, I don't see really the need to have more than one.
Yeah. Only if there's exclusives on there, right? That you're diehard fans, I guess. Like same as Alpha.
Yeah.
Right? I'm out of the Alpha chase. I'm out of the Super Bucket chase. Like for me, they just
for
too
the
much,
Alpha
right?
for sure.
Too much.
If they came out with an Alpha that was a theme that I really, really wanted, I'd buy that one and definitely sell the one I have because there's no need to have two.
Yeah, I think it would take a lot for me to buy an Alpha. Like I said, then I would sell the Mega Man one, which I don't want to do because it has Strider on it, right? Which I love. So
doesn't it have Knights of the Round on it too?
Yes, exactly. Those are two awesome games that I absolutely love and grew up playing. So like I want those games. So it would take like I don't know what kind of arcade. Maybe a Marvel, like the Marvel beat 'em up ones would need to be on it, like or Alien versus Predator and Punisher, like a combination of those types of beat 'em up before I buy an Alpha, which is never going to happen because they're all licensed. So yeah, I'm out of the Alpha game and out of the Super Pocket game. Like I don't even know. Like I got that Neo Geo coming. I'm like, I don't know if I'll play it. I might play it and then probably sell it because I think it'll probably have better resale value. But I'm not really.
If they did come out with a Neo Geo Alpha, then I'd get that for sure, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't because, like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would. You guarantee it would sell like crazy though. So I think a lot of people would buy that Alpha. I wouldn't, but that's fine.
Well, I'd get that one to replace this Mega Man one.
Yeah, it depends. If it's got a lot of non-fighting games on there, I would probably look at it and then probably sell my Street Fighter one, maybe. Probably. Which I'm probably going to sell anyway, my Street Fighter one, because I don't play it.
This is why the VS is the best. Use whatever damn controller or monitor you want. You know what I mean?
What? Wait, what?
I said that's why the VS is the best. Use whatever damn controller or monitor that you want.
You could do that. You could use whatever controller you want on the Alpha too.
Yeah. I think the VS is like, if you have a VS and you don't like handheld gaming, like, yeah, I think VS is the only option you should get. Well, I travel a lot with my Evercade, so I always take my Evercade with me. So that's why I like the EXP. But if I didn't take my EXP with me, or I didn't go places a lot,
it's funny.
VS is all you need.
I would actually take the VS and a portable monitor.
You Americans.
That's the problem though. Like with like I only have like the collector's editions of stuff, and I don't want to bring that with me and have it like get damaged or have it powered on and burn out or lose one of the parts and can't buy again. You know what I mean?
So the collector's edition and a regular edition.
Yeah, and that costs more money.
Yeah, I think the only thing with Evercade, like they've gotten to such a hardware proliferation now that they've tapped out my interest in buying everything. Like, you know, it's like, and that takes a lot because I was pretty hardcore. But like the fact that I'm like, I don't have the special editions of all the alphas or the VRs or Dash R or something like that. They've hit my crescendo of collectability.
Yeah, I don't think that the Dash Rs were meant for people that are.
Yeah, I know, but like if you're hardcore collectors, like which I'm not, like they tend to want every variant and all that. But it's like, no, I'm good.
I mean, it's like to me, I don't think they should have named it anything different. It should have just been a different revision. Because like I'm going through the PlayStations I have, and you can see even from the back of the PlayStations that they're all different revisions because they have different ports on the backs of them and everything. And they didn't say, "Hey, this is the PlayStation 2 or VR or whatever."
It's really confusing, right? It confuses the marketplace. Yeah, I agree with you, but whatever. Like I'm just saying, it's like pretty much I'm focusing just on carts right now, and I'm getting to my limit of what I want to buy cart wise. Like if they put out a crappy cart, I have no interest. I'm not probably going to buy it. Like I'm not going for a complete set anymore. So
are there cartridges you haven't bought?
Not yet. No.
Okay. But
I was very close on the Tomb Raider 2 collection. If I kind of regret getting that now, to be honest with you. Because like I don't have any interest to play those games, but like Gremlins collection, those I have interest in those because I've never played a lot of those games, so those are kind of more my cup of tea.
What's funny is I haven't played it in the last week, but I've been playing the first Tomb Raider game, and I'm having more fun with it. I'm enjoying it more now than I did way back when I bought it when it was new.
Save states? probably why.
With the save states, I guess, yeah. But I guess with the save states, I could do my favorite thing with Laura or all the time over and over again, and that's just swan dive head first into concrete from as high a height as possible. And I laugh every time. I'm actually making a montage of that every time I do that.
Yeah, no, I just want to be entertained. Like, listen, like, and that's why I was kind of talking about this last night. Like, if you just buy Evercade just to play games, and I think just for the plug and play games, I think you'll be disappointed. Like, for me, it's the whole experience.
Wait. That doesn't make sense to me. If you're buying the Evercade just to play games, which is the only thing it does, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, I'll tell because no, and I'll tell you why. Because I think if that's the case, then, and I've said this, you're better off honestly just downloading the ROMs and playing the games or playing them on another platform. What's unique about Evercade is the experience. Like you can touch a physical cart, it's tangible. You get the instruction booklet. There's a community around it. There's hype and drama around it. It's like the whole ecosystem, right? Like I think if there were never any YouTube channels or anything to kind of like spawn off the community, like I never would have gotten into it. It's like the whole complete thing. And that's why I will still get something like the Gremlin collection, because I know I'll be entertained. I know people will watch that. And that's why some of those things, some of those collections I've said, if like I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'd be like, yeah, you could pass on that. Oh my God. Yeah, like and that's like for me, it's just it's sometimes it's more about getting something in the mail, having a physical media that you can touch. And sometimes we get some like really cool collections, and sometimes we get some bad ones. But either way, I still get some value out of it. You know what I mean? Like I still get some fun out of it. But I think I'm in too deep to stop, unless it just gets to a point where stuff is just too expensive to buy, right? Then that would be crazy. Or Blaze,
I wonder what the limit is for.
So, and the reason I explain that is like that's why I don't relate as much to like Alphas or Super Pockets, because it's not a physical cart. Unless it's kind of like the same thing as an arcade 1-up. Unless like you look at that device and the nostalgia takes you back, that's awesome. For me, like a mini arcade can't do that. An arcade 1-up can't do that. That's kind of the same reason why like I'm not like into like digital pinball or like racing games. I'm very like there's just some experiences like for me that I don't know.
That's my Star Trek back there.
Yes, yeah. I mean, again, people are like into different things and whatnot, but yeah, I'm distracted by your pinball machines, but but then again, there's like a maintenance behind it and all that. So yeah, it just kind of depends on everybody's, what everybody's into and whatnot. But yeah, even if we see more blue carts, I'll embrace it. This is so bad, you gotta play. No, but like one thing that would be kind of interesting, like I think like if something like a collection like that did come out, it would be kind of interesting for Blaze to explain like this was really popular over here in the UK. You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of neat, like for their choices.
Yeah, but then we'd get Spectrum stuff. Which I'm still surprised we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, like so, and kind of listen, like kind of and what I say sometimes with Blaze is there's a little bit of like hubris involved. Like, hey, I grew up playing these games. I don't understand. Like everyone else must love them. And kind of my answer to that is no. I grew up playing Pac-Man on the Atari, knowing it's the worst, probably most horrible version of like Atari, and I don't want to relive that. I'd rather have the arcade version. You know what I mean? Like I recognize. We'll see Spectrum Blue. So I don't know. Be very curious to see. At least the good thing is at least kind of know like Blaze still does watch all Evercade videos. I think maybe they have to. I think that's somebody's job. Like okay, we have to see what people are saying. Like, oh God, I got to watch Ed's video again. I know that's like what Ryan probably thinks in his head.
What's funny is I know you don't check out the Discord, but whenever you put out a video, somebody links your video and then they say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh God, now I gotta watch a video from Ed.
Yeah. I kind of know that. Yeah. I don't check. No, and that's why like
you don't check. That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, that's why not with the latest one on the cards, some before that put a comment post on my channel, I'm like, yeah, I know some people will say, I know some people will say like it's clickbait or like over exaggerated, and I'm like, good for them. But I will, because when I put that video and I said rough times ahead, here's what's funny about our community. I really didn't get much flack on that because people kind of know. The main things that I got flack on is like talking about like Broken Sword, and like Blood Omen or whatever that other duel, like talking about those. That's where the butt hurt like for people had, and that's what like I've seen like people like unsub, which is hilarious, and that's kind of why I've struggled to creep past like the 1700 marker, because I would, some people would comment or they would say stuff and then it would go down and it would go back up, and it's kind of funny, but like how I was just like at that line. Broken Sword rules. I still need, I still need to play that because of the update. But the problem with that, the problem with that game, and I'll say, is that like, when you play like an RPG, they develop a good story arc and have like cutscenes. With this, every time you talk to somebody, you have to spend like 5 or 10 minutes and click through all these dialogues. Like, it's a lot of text. Like, oh my god.
Well, that's what the game is. That's, people find that entertaining.
I suppose, but I'm just saying, like, as opposed to like traditional RPGs, it's a lot more text.
A point and click adventure like that, I wouldn't categorize as an RPG.
No.
They're actually just point and click adventures. That's the genre.
Yeah, they're like novella. Like what is it? There's tons of those games that come out on Switch and PlayStation and all that are like kind of those still style games that people love.
Yeah, it's like the type of game that Sierra was. Was big.
I don't remember them being that text heavy. I mean, the Sierra games, like Police Questing, I remember it more being like you had to find the item, especially the ones where you didn't have mouse support. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember them being as text. Yeah, they're more like interactive stories. Yeah, yes, they are. Jeez. And then I'm trying to think. Well, maybe when I played Monkey Island, maybe was it a novelty, so I didn't mind.
Well, the thing is, like, that's the difference between the LucasArts point and click adventures and the Sierra ones. Is that in the Sierra ones, you're gonna die a lot, over and over and over again. You have to remember to save constantly. Whereas the LucasArts ones, they usually made them so you don't get stuck or get killed.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, that's a good point, because I remember like you did have to be careful where to save or have multiple saves.
Like even Leisure Suit Larry, you could, like, even the first Leisure Suit Larry, you could put yourself in a situation where you do one thing wrong, but you wouldn't die until like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it relies more, on talking, so you're less like, I guess so, and then you have to go through with every single item and show. Yeah, that's the thing. It's more about the talking and the interaction with the characters than solving puzzles.
Yeah, it's just a story, basically. It's not an RPG. To me, is like I know you could almost argue that every single game is a role playing game because you're controlling something, but yeah, I forgot where I was going with this because I got distracted by my own thoughts. Never mind.
Yeah, RPGs is kind of like you still have to go to the place and do the thing, but you have to level your characters, get items. I feel like strategy and
Yeah, an RPG. That's why I was going with an RPG is something where you level up. You can go at your own pace. You can grind if you want. You could you have the option of going to wherever you want. It's not really linear.
Yeah, and you can see the progression. Yeah, Legacy of Kain. Sorry, that was Legacy of Kain and Broken Sword was like the most immortal butthurt of videos that I made for people, which I was like, good lord. I just thought it was kind of funny. I just thought it was kind of funny. It's like, yes, we have these things from our childhood, but I don't know. I was just they are great games. Yeah, but that's okay. So I'm glad that you brought, and so that's where I kind of feel like Blaze is backslid, right? Because like for the Dukes, they could have just given us like the unremastered, regardless if they found someone else.
They couldn't have. They couldn't have given us the unremastered ones because that would have required DOS emulation.
Yeah, but still, I think but they at least put in the effort, and I kind of feel like with something Broken
Sword, they didn't do anything. They, like I said before, they fell backwards into this. Somebody was already doing a remaster of those, and they just happened to get the license and managed to put it out on a cartridge.
Sure. Well, then that's what I mean. That kind of speaks more to their laziness, and that's kind of the other. That's kind of the other thing. Like take pride in delivering a product. We need to. I honestly, and maybe it was me, but I had it in my head for 2023. This was the expectations. Blaze was going to give us at least one indie single cart. They were going to give us some type of remaster, and God forbid, maybe even make their own games. But no, that was just a complete one-off, right? Like I thought they had tapped into really tapped into something. Yeah, or like the scum. Yeah, or like
we could get Maniac Mansion on Evercade.
Dude, that would be awesome. But that's what I mean. It's like it's kind of like you can when there's free options out there that give you better quality, that give you that than paid for options. That's kind of the problem.
Well, no, that's not necessarily the problem. Honestly, almost every free option out there is better than the paid option in one aspect or another. The reason a lot of people go with the paid option is because it's more convenient. So that's where the advantage of the Evercade comes in, as opposed to just downloading and emulating all the stuff yourself. With the Evercade, it's just more convenient for people just to buy the cartridge and pop it in and play the game, rather than go online, find the ROMs, find the emulators, configure everything up. I mean, if you're familiar with that kind of stuff, you would think, hey, that's pretty easy to do. But a lot of people have never touched that stuff before. I mean, they wouldn't know where to start, and they don't want to take the time to figure it out.
No, I get that and all, but it's just when you start to see things just kind of become like ROM dumps, or like the worst version of ROM dumps, when it could be a lot better.
Well, here's the thing though too, is that they don't choose the ROMs. Apparently, when I asked about this, they can only use the ROMs that are supplied from whoever has the rights to them. So that's why we wound up getting the wrong version, because this is how it came up. Because I kept asking, like, why do we have the wrong version of Asteroids on Atari Arcade 1? And it's because why is it Asteroids and not Asteroids Deluxe? And it's because, well, that's the ROM they gave them. And nobody kind of really noticed that it was the wrong game, I guess.
Yeah. I know these, but I prefer exactly because you want something tangible, and you want an officially licensed product and a collectible, and you want that experience. Exactly.
Yeah, no, something to collect is part of it as well.
Yeah. What is Pete playing?
Oh my God, you're a Namco guy. You don't know what this is?
Yeah, this is that game I didn't like. This is not. It's a real time strategy game on Namco.
Yeah, I
can't remember.
This is my guilty pleasure on Namco.
Metal Marines, yes.
Yeah, Metal Marines. But the good news is like I don't like playing it on my EXP. Now I can play it on my big screen. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm a huge RTS fan. Like way back from Command. I just bought the Command Conquer OG collection on Steam for $20, but it's like 10 games. But I love Age of Empires, Command & Conquer. I love RTS games.
Yeah, it's
now
funny.
I can finally play this on my big screen, which is really cool.
There's only two genres of games that I'm not really a big fan of. RTSs are one of them, and the other ones are tower defense games. Those are just two genres.
Yeah, tower defense is just lazy. It's like almost a lot like survivor-based games. That Vampire Survivors is just like kind of active passive games. But yeah, I love RTS. It's nerdy as hell, but I've been playing them for like 30, 40 years. So.
But there are exceptions to that. There are some that I do like, but most of them, no. I guess it's just me having bad experiences with games like Command & Conquer.
Oh, I love Command & Conquer so much.
I just didn't recognize it because I like playing more of the classic games.
I like playing all games.
He said, I don't think Blaze would be allowed to have VS support unless they had some sort of deal in place.
That's what I'm saying. I think we'll see another Namco, either a Super Pocket or something from Namco again. We'll probably get. I think that's what happens.
So X-Farb, the Mayu Mini, and that was kind of going back like to the Super Pockets. Like the Mayu Mini will be able to play all those games plus more, unless you care about having something licensed that's not even technically licensed from Evercade. It's Hyper Megatech. So I
don't think it's so much. Again, I don't think a lot of people care whether or not it's licensed or not. Again, it just comes down to accessibility and how easy it is. Because with the Mio Mini. You still have to source the ROMs yourself. You still have to,
he's flanking me, you son.
No, you don't though. You can buy like most of these devices come preloaded with all the games except for like the Marios.
Okay, they're coming directly from China because they're the only ones crazy enough to do that.
Yeah. I need to give. I know, actually. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and avoiding. Yeah, see, that's the other thing too. Avoiding choice paralysis. That is a real. That is a real thing. And I'm like, well, I paid money for this stuff. I might as well play it. So there's definitely 100 versions of the same game. Exactly.
Lucy, I'll just say, Lucy, give it a second chance and just play it. It is super fun. Like, it really is a fun game.
Yeah, I started to understand the game. I just couldn't. I played it for maybe an hour or two.
It's all about your base rate and how lucky, unlucky sometimes you are against getting attacked first before you're ready. But if you build up your defenses and kind of layer your defenses, it's just, I don't know. I just find it's really fun.
Give it a second chance. Yeah, I might, now that on a bigger screen, that might make.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like I liked it before, but you need a big screen for this because of just.
I got a really funny story about the very first time I played Command and Conquer.
Oh, good. You see my missile defense there? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, here, Command and Conquer. I didn't really know how to play the game. So when you start, we had a LAN back when I was in the military. So I was playing a whole bunch of other people that had played the game a lot. And what I had done, my very first action, I didn't know what I was doing, and I sold the only building I had. So I couldn't do anything. I had just a bunch of troops and no buildings or anything or money or anything right off the bat. So I messed with everybody. I took all my individual guys and I spread them all over the map and I hid them in the background. And it took them forever to find all my guys and kill them.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up. He's so good. The computer's so good. Like, it's like, look at that. Like, jeez, he's going right after my base. Like he avoided, like, or she or whatever, the computer. Like, it's just completely avoiding because I don't have enough radar towers up to target the missiles. I needed to have more. I got him that time. And he's not doing a ground attack, which sucks because I built a lot of mechs, right? Like, so I'm going to go on the attack.
Yeah, DF, I was in the Air Force. I didn't really go into active combat situation. I just worked on electronics.
So who am I going to attack? Who's hitting me? Is it this guy?
I think Time Crisis with a light gun. Yeah, I think that would be kind of too expensive. Yeah, but yeah, and this is like a perfect kind of example of a game. Initially they only had the handheld. Going on a collection. I mean, a game only being accessible, like playing on the handheld, when you really do need to play on the full screen. That's all. So but I'm
just gonna put this out there. You could, with the EXP and the original Evercade, output it to a TV. That's how I played it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it's cumbersome though, because like the weight of the cable and the adapter, and then you're restricted, and you have to kind of be close. But I give them a pass on that. What I don't give Blaze a pass on is just like tossing Operation Wolf, like on a Super Pocket, like really, like that, and it plays as horrible as you would.
I don't even think that's the worst game they put on. I think the worst thing they did was put Pong on there when it's not even the real version of Pong, and it's a game that requires paddles and you've no way to control that.
Yes. But that's what I mean, though. That seems that's kind of that lazy philosophy. That's what I'm saying. That drives me nuts about Blaze. Like, there's some real missed opportunities that they could.
They did other things though too, like in like the original Atari art collections 1s and 2s. There were 2,600 games on there that weren't even functioning properly. Like Steeplechase was one of them because you couldn't adjust the height of your jump. It wasn't just a one-button game. It was a paddle game where you had to turn the paddle to adjust your height, how high you wanted to jump, but they didn't convert it for that. So they did eventually fix that. Another one is, I don't know, it definitely won't work on the handheld Evercades, was Radar Lock, because Radar Lock requires 2 joysticks to play.
Yeah.
They could have actually mapped some of the other buttons to from the other controller to some other buttons on the Evercade controller, but they didn't do that.
Ooh, that's awesome, Lucy, through a projector. See, and I think like if they would have allowed you to hook in an external controller like into the original ones, that would be cool on a projector. That's awesome.
Well, the only downside too is from when you output out at the handhelds to a TV is you're getting 720p instead of 1080p, and I could definitely tell the difference between the two. So 720p just being a little bit fuzzier. It's not that big of a deal, but I could tell the difference.
Yeah. So that's I don't know, just some missed opportunities for things, and like for Broken Sword would make like the point like Blaze needs they need to give the best versions of the games that they can. No duplicates, which they've started kind of with the arcade, but I guess that ties with choosing the ROMs. Yeah, but definitely, but they could have said like with Broken Sword, are you telling me that they couldn't have gotten the PC version? Are you really like the publisher wouldn't have let them use that? I doubt. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of more about we don't want to spend the R&D to make that work on our system and to have to make it fit on the Giga card.
Is it a fact somewhere that that the PC version is better than the PlayStation version? Because I don't know. I just wouldn't make that assumption.
Well, for PC versions are always better than the PlayStation version.
That's not true. Not true at
all.
all.
It is, because the PC versions, they have the superior graphics, they have the superior controls. Like, there's never
okay. You got to take yourself back to the early '90s, like back when PlayStation originally came out. Like a game like Mortal Kombat 3 was definitely better on the PlayStation than it was on PC.
I'm specifically talking about games that were like initially designed like on a PC, and then they were dumbed down and ported. Like Mortal Kombat was in the arcade.
Yeah, that's true, but again, I think there's going to be exceptions to that.
Required DOS, just like the Duke Nukem, much better. All your like FPSs for PC, Diablo PC. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, those I would agree. Yeah, because again, you can't use a keyboard or mouse with the
Diablo.
But however,
it's really good, except doesn't have all the same content as Diablo on PC. But it controls perfectly fine. Like it's really the control's not the problem with Diablo on PlayStation. And trust me, I've got probably 1,000 hours into that. It's you didn't get all the full experience that PC got. That's basically it.
Yeah, and that's also because you could install games on a PC. You couldn't.
Well, yeah, back then were a lot more expensive than a console. Put it this way: if you had to buy a PC to play Diablo, it's probably $1,500, $2,000. You get a PlayStation for like $200. You got to play a game that you probably couldn't afford to play before.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people that would buy Diablo on the PlayStation would be the people that already had a PlayStation and didn't really have a PC that could play it.
Exactly.
Or they couldn't afford a PC.
They're also lazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, and I feel like I was lucky and privileged to have that growing up. And like Myst was another example like that. Like, yeah, to your point, Carl, like if you had a PlayStation and you wanted a version of it.
See, Crow, I took over North America. So I beat the first mission. Now I'm in the second mission. So I'm in North America now. I get to go and take over North America, even though it looks eerily similar to the first part I was in.
But is this on Namco 1 or 2? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But I'm going to definitely.
I thought you would know since
because this is good progress.
Makes a difference in getting the remasters.
It's on 1, Namco Museum 1.
It's so much fun, dude. I like it because it's got it's got all the story and it's fun. It's like just a good game.
Yeah, if you like real-time strategy, I guess.
The thing for me, it's like there's a big time investment. Like you have to learn about the different factions and the different power-ups. For some reason, like Blizzard made that really easy with Warcraft. Like I felt like that game, you could Warcraft 1 and 2, you could kind of jump into, and you didn't have to do like a lot of research. They just, I don't know what they did, but they just made it easier to get into.
Which one was that?
Oh, you mean the real-time Warcraft?
Yeah,
I could tell you.
Yeah,
I could tell you why. It's because when you could play the scenarios single player and learn the game through the scenarios.
It wasn't multiplayer only. Like, so the games before that, like Command & Conquer, Age of Empires, those games were multiplayer games right from the start, right? Like they added in the campaigns with later, like they added in like scenarios and that. But That's why I love playing those original ones, because in college and university, playing with a bunch of your friends, it was super fun.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, for me, strategy game they've always been like a single player experience, and I liked playing the scenarios, and then
So you grew up. That's what you grew up with. That was your first introduction, which is really cool. Probably got you into it. But actually, when they were coming out, it was more like, not story driven so much. It was just, here's your sandbox. This is the size of your map. 3 other factions. You could, play with humans or play with other, like this game. You're playing against a computer, which I think cheats. It's like substantially cheats in this game.
Gene, everybody struggles with Power of Draga, and I
know.
And I know why. It's because there's hidden goals. The goals to proceed to the next level, they don't tell you what they are. You have to do very specific things in order to beat the game, and it's just hidden to everybody. You're just supposed to know.
For me, that's not it. It's the controls. It's the fact that your character moves so slow. It's the controls for that are just, oh my god. Yeah,
that's honestly, if you knew what the kind of stuff he had to do in that game to beat it, you would. The controls would be the least of your problems.
Really? Yeah, the combat sucked. Yeah, no, for me, seriously, that's kind of more what it was.
It's not even that. It's things like, in order to, if you exit the level, like in some levels, if you exit the level without first, touching a wall or something, then you go backwards in levels instead of forwards. That kind of stuff.
That's kind of cool, but also
it just boggles my mind how that was a really popular arcade game in Japan.
So I guess ultimately the question is, do we think that the other Neo Geo cart will be packed with a Namco, or do you think they're going to push that mystery off and it'll be a blue cart?
Wait, what?
What?
What was
with the Neo Geo 1 arcade, the mystery.
Oh, you're saying No, I think next announcement they'll have to announce something Neo Geo. I think.
Oh yeah,
big time. But do you think they'll acknowledge? Do you think they'll say something with Namco, or do you think it's just gonna?
I don't know. It's their anniversary, right? So I think this show they kind of built it up a little bit. So hopefully it's.
Well, honestly, I think that maybe the Namco something. If there's Namco stuff coming out, it might not happen for a while, because if they just made a deal to where they can unlock the cartridges, they might be in the early stages of, this, kind of building this cartridge out or something. If that is going to be a cartridge, it might not be something till next year even.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Good. It should be arcade though, or actually maybe not.
I don't know.
Being that they're pushing the alphas, you would think, right?
Maybe a Namco alpha. Ugh. I'd rather have a cart.
Yeah,
I think we're more likely to see a Namco Super Pocket than a Namco Alpha.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that was probably part of the deal. Oh, that's no moon. That's a space station.
But honestly, I do feel like being able to play this on the DS
can destroy. I got that.
Almost feels like we got 2 new carts. I don't know if you guys kind of felt like that though. Like it
what
feels like, being that we can play these on the VS, it kind of feels like we got 2 new carts this month. Like it's pretty new life into those collections for me.
Oh, you're talking about the Namco collections.
Yeah.
I'm talking about these.
No. I'm just like imagine if you kind of like for me, like I kind of feel that hype and excitement. Like imagine if everything else on a Super Pocket we got on a cart to be playable.
What was funny was like when I heard that, I was like, "Is that really true?" And I pulled out the Tomb Raider Collection 1 and I put in Namco 1, just that one. And I was like, yeah, it works. And I pulled it out, I put Namco 2 in there, and I was like, yeah, it works. And then I booted up a game and I played it for like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, it works, cool. And I took it out, put them back on the shelf, and put Tomb Raider back in.
Nice.
Yeah, because you're doing a video on Tomb Raider, right?
Well, eventually. I don't know. I haven't played it in the last week and I'm still in the first game. I don't even think I'm halfway through the first game.
I think they will. I just think that they can't yet if they did do some deal with Namco.
Tell me, how far in the game is that room with the lightning? Where you walk in the room with the lightning and you get struck by lightning? Is that still near the beginning of the game? I'm around that part of the game.
Rub it in more. Yeah. No, what I think the Blaze does need to do is I think they need to revisit they need to revisit Legacy and
Third?
see like.
Okay, I've done that. Nice.
Like, I think they do need to revisit. Like, could they re-release this cart without some of the games that they had issues with the license? But if they do Namco arcades, I think then the two other Namcos become a little bit less relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Yeah, Trip. Buy them now if you want them because they are going to go up in price for the secondary market.
I meant to look it up. I know Pete said 100, but
130 if you include shipping. So that's Canadian. So let's say $80 American, maybe 90.
I'm just gonna look on price charting.
Yeah.
Go Evercade.
Because there were some sales on the 16th of this month. So.
Oh, they're not that much. They're around. Well, Namco 2, I'm seeing complete in box for about 55.
Okay.
Namco 1, 42.
Yeah, you got to factor shipping into that too, right?
Yeah. That's why.
That's the thing is you kind of have to go through and kind of click on these two, because you don't know if they're including free shipping or if they're not including.
You got shipping, tax, See, I always factor in everything, like all in.
And sometimes the condition of it is not in the right category. Where sometimes it's loose, but it's in the complete in box category.
Yeah. I should look at her. I've got like a bunch of Namco's collections. Like I've got 3 versions of them, 3 copies of them. So from back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, I have duplicates too. I don't know how many.
Yeah,
I know I have 2 Oliver Twins collections, but I destroyed one of the cartridges. So,
Chat, should I go to base and get my supplies again, or should I chance getting to E? I don't know. I'm right beside a base. I think I'm going to go to the base, see if I can get some more supplies.
What did Rich post in Discord? I just noticed.
Oh,
just where he was eating breakfast.
Okay.
Boston's best breakfast. I thought he was in Florida.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get... I don't know if I can resupply from the same base in this game. I can't remember if I can or not. Anybody know? Crow, do you know?
Do I know what?
I can go to the same base again and resupply my stuff.
I'm not that familiar with Star Luster anymore. I don't remember.
Oh my God, Star Luster! I played so much of this back in the day, dude. I can't remember though if the bases can be visited twice in a row in the same map.
It's like the NES version
of Starfighter movies and Star Wars movies, so I love all these games. Get a lock on.
This is like the NES version of like that 2600 game. I can't remember. There's like 2 of them like that. Star Raiders, and Star Master. One, the Atari one and the Activision one.
Yeah, well, okay, come on, lock in, you silly dude. I don't think it's gonna let me.
Those look like the stations from Bosconian. Oh, it probably is on purpose because that's a Namco game too.
Yeah,
well, good. It let me resupply. Sweet.
Cool.
This game's super fun. I like this game. Okay, I'm gonna try to go across the quadrant to this guy. The music, like the sound, is so nostalgic. Like the so awesome.
I do like that noise. Yeah.
So do we think then it's Blaze's strategy? Okay, we won't make an announcement. We'll make these games available. We'll leak it to Crazy Burger. We'll have him do that, and then we know the other YouTubers will make videos and talk about it.
I think so. I think Crazy Burger's the GOAT, right? Like, so I think he's the dude. So I don't know. I don't really like. Yeah, it seems like I just know when I post any type of Evercade content, people always tell me to go check out his stuff, and because he's usually talked about it before, and he gets early versions of the carts too. Like, so I think he's I think that's probably true. And I think for the big stuff, like the big channels get it like early, right? Like they got a new product coming out, but I don't think they're at the same level for always talking Evercade like the Crazy Burgers are and stuff. So.
Okay, ignore what I said about price charting because it's obviously wrong. Because I actually went on eBay and I looked at sold listings, but it's way off. Price charting is usually within the ballpark. This is way off though, because I'm seeing an open copy, complete in box but open Namco 2 that sold for $170, and that's not including shipping.
I cleared that sector. Yeah.
Namco 1 sealed, $120. That's sealed. So
I'm pretty sure,
I don't know if
I'm pretty sure if I would have continued all my
90
Evercade content, and like did like daily updates and all that kind of stuff, I probably would have been an insider. I don't know. I'm pretty much an asshole sometimes too, so you know, I could see because I speak my mind. I don't give a shit what you think.
You know what?
Anybody thinks.
You know what? That doesn't hinder you from getting free stuff because with Zacharia Pinball, I left a really, really negative review of the game on Steam, and then they started giving me stuff for free.
Nice. So that's the trick.
It's the size. It's the size of the channel, and that's kind of what it. That's what it comes down to.
I don't have that big of a channel.
Yeah, I got a bunch of free stuff coming from people. I'm getting a pixel frame. Somebody wants to send me to do a review, and I'm like, yeah, man, that looks cool. I'd like that in my office. Got somebody sending me controllers. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a review on that. I'm like, if it interests me, I take it. I'm like, hey, man, why not? It's free.
It depends on what it is because, like,
that's what I'm saying here. If I like what they're selling, I'll like, oh yeah, I do it. But some stuff they ask me to do, Ed, is like ridiculous. It's like,
yeah, if it relates to the channel, like if some channel said, hey, we'll send you a toaster, I'd be like, no.
Ooh, if it made like the Xbox logo, I get it. Look at this dude, cleared sector. I haven't played this game in so long. At least 5 years since I played this game.
My channel is
it's how you use it.
Channel is my channel has more subs than it actually should because I don't.
Oh yeah, same here, man. Like I don't know why people sub to my shit. It's like just
for the number of subs I have. For the number of subs I have, you'd think that more people would actually watch the videos.
I'm a cadet.
Well, it depends on the creator and what your channel is focused on. Because I've seen some other channels where they have like 100,000 or more plus subs, but they only get like 1,000 or 2,000 views. So there's a few things going on. Either
I'm getting more views than some channels in gaming that have 100,000 views. Like I get more views than them sometimes.
You could have a video that goes viral, and you could only have a couple hundred subs, and still have like videos that have hundreds.
My worst content are indie games that nobody knows about. Like I did one on Stella Blade, didn't get any views, but then I do one on a RuneScape game that I absolutely want to play, and it's really fun. And like it's for me, it's topping off. It's like 1,000, 1,500 views, and I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, but to your point,
I don't understand it
about those videos that go viral. It's because they like that one thing. Like sometimes I'll see a video like that, and then you look at their content, you're not into it. Other things, it's like they develop a following, maybe off of somebody else, or maybe some people have bots for subs.
Yeah, it all depends, right? Like,
yeah, for
you
me,
can do YouTube advertising. And they give you subs too if you do YouTube advertising. It's like it's weird. Like Rich had one that popped off too. It's kind of interesting, right? So, whatever.
Yeah. To me, it's like the subs doesn't even really matter. It's like I'm more interested.
It's your views,
the views of the videos.
Yeah. The views and the comments and the likes. I think are the most important things because anybody can click on your video and not even watch it, right? Like, so I look at it. It's like, how long did they watch my content? Like, is it if I can get over 2 minutes on a video? Like on average, I'm like, that's awesome. That video done well. Yeah. What did I do in that video that kept them going? Like for my Steam Deck videos, I get a really like on average is 3-4 minutes on an 8-minute video watching it because my Steam Deck videos are meant to inform dumbasses like me before they buy a game. And it shows the exact process of installing it with no mods, whether this game can work on your Steam Deck. That's all it is because I couldn't find that content out there when the Steam Deck launched. So I'm like, I'm just going to make it. And like, I get tons of free codes for Steam games. So I'm like, why not? Right. But that's kind of what turned my channel around. I kind of made videos that I wanted to watch. And all of a sudden, everybody, like a lot of people want to watch it. And a lot of my comments in those videos. So thank you for doing this. Like literally, that's all they say. I'm like, did you sub? Like, please sub.
Well, no, you just have to, because I was going to say Proton data, like there's a database. I think people are just too lazy to Google it. It's like, yeah, if you could watch a video, why not? That's easy.
Yeah, watch a video, and if you like what you're seeing, like, and I don't do any cuts. You notice my videos aren't really, it just shows you. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes for it to load in the game. Well, that's what you'll experience. If you have the same Steam Deck as me and you're playing it, you might have to, you'll wait 2 minutes for this to, or the videos will fail. But if you reboot, that usually the videos go into cache memory and then you're good to go. So anyway, yeah. What were we talking about? Crazy Burger. Yeah, I think he does a valuable service I think he does a valuable service for the community of Evercade. I honestly do. I think he's like I said, when I say he's the GOAT, I think he is because he's consistent with it. But I don't know like whatever people's takes on him. But I know people who watch my Evercade content mention him a lot, so that means he's pretty respected, I guess. Or
it's who Blaze has chose to be their golden boy and give them all this stuff ahead of time.
I don't think they would have just chosen one person.
Yeah,
because and I kind of took because
there was a Pixel's a good one they chose too, right? Like he does a lot of Evercade content, doesn't he?
But remember, Pete, like a long time ago when the VS was announced, like they actually gave you like the press kit and like you knew about all that stuff. Like
I was doing a lot of stuff for them. And they would send me stuff, and I had a good relationship with them, and I still think I have a decent relationship with them. It's just that I guess what happened, and it's no fault of them. I didn't like a lot of stuff they were doing, and I guess I just said honestly, and then that's fine. They chose to go someone more positive, but I still like to think I've gone in the last 5 years super positive and loved everything they're doing. For years 3 and 4, maybe, or 3 not so much, 4 kind of not liking it, and then they recovered at the end of 4 for me, and 5 they seem to be fine, but I also found that I found that I was forced to make videos on them a lot of times just for content, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. That wasn't interesting anymore for me. So yeah, but I still think I've got a great relationship with them. It's just that my mouth got me in trouble sometimes, probably with them. And that's okay. I got no problem with that.
Yeah. No, I just have to be on.
Your mouth gets you in trouble all the time, probably with them.
Well, listen, it was just kind of initially.
But that's what makes you real, right? You are, no matter what.
Yeah, I did kind of want to do videos, I guess, kind of more for them, but then like I was never really acknowledged, and then I kind of when I started to have memberships, and then I started to have people that kind of were more into what I did, and so I'm like, you know what, screw Blaze, I'm more making videos for the community and members, and that's
the fact that I still play my Evercade daily. And I still like take it with me when I go vacation. I still do cart box openings. Tells me I still love the ecosystem. It's just not as big in my gaming world as what it was 3 years ago, right? That's about it. But now that like this Namco stuff, like I can play all these games I played when I was a kid on my big screen on VS now. It kind of reinvigorated me this month. I'm going to be playing. I'm going to finish Metal Marine. I know I am because that game has been on my hit list for a while now.
And now you're willing to play it more now that you can play it on a TV.
On my 60-inch TV, 100%. Like, because you're getting older. It's like I love my EXP, but I like my TV better.
Was the text harder to read, or was that an issue if you're playing it on a handheld?
Not necessarily. It was fine. It's just I want what. Like I'm used to playing my RTSs on a monitor, right? And whether it's a 17-inch monitor, 20-inch monitor, and I don't know. I like playing on my VS.
I think it's kind of funny that you're more into this game now that you can play it on a TV when you're most known for wanting to only play handhelds.
Yeah, it's funny. That's good though, right? Well, my Steam Deck, I say it in a lot of my Steam Deck videos and stuff. I play a lot of my Steam Deck docked.
Okay.
I have a lot lately too. Yeah. But
I kind of don't because
sometimes I just want to be hunched over. Oh, I just realized my camera's off, but like I just don't want to. Sometimes just because you play primarily on one way, like handhelds, I do love, but I love sitting on my couch playing games too, right? On the big screen.
Yeah, I was just thinking like I never really. I have hooked up the Steam Deck a couple times to a TV, but that was only to play games.
You lose a lot of the visual fidelity because it doesn't.
I need it
properly, right?
Well, it was to play game. No, actually, it looked really good. From that
depends your game. Depends on your game.
Yeah, well, I was playing the like the Jackbox games, like Trivial Murder Press. It was where a lot of people needed to see the screen, but didn't necessarily need to play with the controller or anything. So the Rift Tracks game, that kind of stuff, I would hook up to a TV. But if I'm not playing it handheld, I'll just play whatever game on my regular computer because it could handle it better,
Hydro Thunder. Sorry. Choose your track. Pick your boat. I don't know. I remember having that on the Dreamcast.
I remember playing that in the arcades a lot.
I was a weird one. I played that on the
it's like you pick the hard vehicles, and it's like, you're crazy.
Yeah. No, listen. At the end of the day, Blaze, they let me exist, and that's really the only expectation.
Wait a minute. Wait. What, are you saying that Blaze is letting you exist? Meaning that if they wanted to, they could end you?
Probably. Probably. If they, it would be bad if they sent like a cease and desist and be like, hey, everything we have is copyrighted. You know what I mean?
They're all the way on the other side of the planet. I think it'd be pretty hard for them to get to you.
They still could, but seriously though, no, they, or they could say like, don't listen to this. They listen. They say like, as long as there's news, good news or bad news, they let me do my thing. They do their thing.
You know what? If they came out with and put out a statement and said, don't listen to this guy, he's crazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, I bet your subs would go through the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why they don't. Please do that. Don't do that. But really do that. But don't do that. I don't know. It's every now and then, like Sean will come on and all that. I was kind of telling people last night, like, yes, usually, like after a while, he'll be like, okay, now we'll come on the show to set the record straight. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, they're putting all their money into developing, getting new like partners and new cartridges. They can't afford an assassin.
Oh my god!
Holy crap, dude, that is hilarious. No, but I think at the end of the day, I hope they have mutual respect. I mean, they did ask me, Rich, to participate in that one thing for the showcase. But yeah, I would like more. I would like more interaction. But I'm not going to just be a yes man. If that's the price, then so be it. That's all. But I do think
reminds me of something.
Yeah, but I do think
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if Ryan is going to brag about the Neo Geo Pocket has better controls, it's like, well, dude, then you need to give me some proof of that,
Well, again, those ones they say they've improved the controls. They haven't actually put those out yet. Did they improve the controls in the last batch at all, or
no?
Is it something we have yet to see?
So last Evercast, Ryan just popped in. He said, Ed, I watched your latest video, and we've improved. He said we've improved the controls for some fighting games or something.
Well, yeah, and what's funny is I did that mod on the Capcom Super Pocket. It's like a one little piece that made the D-pad a lot better, and I could actually play Street Fighter on that thing now without issue. I could do the special moves. Whereas I thought it was just because my hands were so cramped I couldn't use it with a controller, but no, it was the D-pad.
Have crazy burger blunders, maybe. Yeah, no, that could be cool. That's coordinating stuff, but yeah, no, and that's kind of the thing. Yeah, I bet, and probably your mod, I have a feeling would work better than the. I don't know.
No, whatever they did, I'm sure would be fine because it's such a minor change. Like all they needed to do was change the mold of that D-pad piece so the stem extends a little bit further. That's all they needed to do.
Oh my god! Maybe then I have to open it. Maybe then I'd have to open it live. Right, it's inside a
well, I don't know if you saw, but when I first got the Super Pockets in the video that I did, when I got it and I unboxed it, in the same video I opened it up.
Yeah,
I did the same thing with the Alpha too.
I was always hoping somebody would have made. I guess the Super Pockets is not worth it enough for somebody on Etsy to make an upgrade kit, but I kind of always hope somebody would have made an upgrade kit with the buttons and or mid brain.
Is something wrong with the buttons now?
They're like the buttons, like they feel bad compared to other devices. Like they're okay. Like they're not as good as they're the worst buttons on the Evercade. Like the VS is the OG buttons are still better than the VS buttons. Like the VS buttons hurt my thumbs after a while. Like they're okay, but the D-pad really makes up. Like the D-pad and the feel of the controller.
Well, you don't have to use the VS controller on the VS. In fact, there's only been one game where the VS controller was the best controller for one game.
Yeah.
No, that I would not use that for any game.
See, that's what I'm excited with the VS because I have an officially licensed Neo Geo controller and I have an officially licensed Neo Geo cart. Da-da-da! Like that's
however. That's not the original Neo Geo controller. That's the one they came out with when they put out the Neo Geo CD. The original Neo Geo controller is an arcade stick.
Yeah. But still, though, it's like one of the best one of the best.
I don't like it. I to me it's like sliding it. I don't know. I don't like that.
Infamous Ian Hobbies. Sneak it in here at the last
No,
minute.
I am actually using a PlayStation 4 controller to play Tomb Raider.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh dude, was your OG like if it was one of the original ones, like I remember that was kind of like a known issue. That is the one cool thing though. Blaze did they did replace that. Like for me it was too much Xeno Crisis. They did replace that. Too much Xevious. Yeah.
Because I thought, it's like I could use like the PlayStation controller from the PlayStation Classic, but the only problem with that is there's no menu button on it. So so that's why I decided to still go with something that's PlayStation related to play something that was on the PlayStation.
Jesus. Yeah. No, and it's really cool that you can do that. But the other thing too is like when I had my makeshift MVS in the early 2000s, like I had like the Neo Geo CD controller of this, so there was like some nostalgia, but it's the closest thing that I'll ever get to like original hardware, right? So that's because it's just too expensive. But the point is, like with the VS, you can kind of play the way you want. You can plug in any controller.
That's the thing is you can plug just about anything into it. In fact,
that would be cool. Do a collaboration thing, doing a later attempt. So yes. I would be definitely down for any type of collaboration that you'd want to do with us. That would be cool.
I thought I had it right up here.
Hit me up
at
Evercast.
Total.
Yeah,
he's at the
email me.
Total. What is it? The Total Evercade. Something
Total
Evercade. The D-pad internals of the VS the same on the OG. I couldn't tell you that. I never opened the D-pad. I never opened up the D-pad that came with the Evercade VS. Never occurred to me.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I remember that being a thing. And that's, I don't know. Cheaper, Super Pockets or cheaper devices, I guess they're not going to be as good. But then it's like, really would they have saved that much money by not using the OG design? I don't know. That's a whole nother.
I don't think it's a matter of cost. I think that it was just a slight something that just so minor that to fix. I think it is going to be improved in the next match because it's just a minor tweak, and that D-pad will be way better.
Yeah, I get it though. They probably get tired of somebody jabbing at them saying that there are these things they need to improve. But then it goes back to the better communication. If they would kind of do that, then I think I don't know.
Well, they said they're going to do it, so there's no reason to believe that they're lying,
No. But yeah, let's just hope this whole tariff thing, let's just hope we can buy carts normally again and not have to get them.
Well, like I said, I think the latest I heard is that electronics aren't going to be included in the tariffs unless they're coming from China.
Yeah, and nothing is made in China, so we're good. Yeah.
Well, think about it. The Evercade stuff is coming from Europe.
Yeah, but it goes from China to Europe and then So I mean, trust no.
And
no, but that's
and you get the stuff from China, but Europe isn't having the tariffs on China. So, okay.
Exactly.
But
that's
again,
the thing, I don't want to have to pay because of the conversion rate. I don't want to have to pay the more expensive price and the more expensive shipping. Well,
I mean, think about it. Video Games Plus, they're getting their supply from Blaze, right? They're getting it from somewhere. That's from Europe, so they're getting it from Europe to begin with, even if you're getting it from them, they're in Canada. So that's where this whole complexity comes in with the tariffs. Are you talking about the point of origin where all the parts are coming from, or are you talking about the whole assembled product coming from a certain location?
Does games fall under game consoles? I don't know, phones and tablets. That's right. So we'll just have to. Good Lord, heartburn. We'll just have to see. Yeah, I think if I have to, I'll bite. I won't be as happy, but I'll bite the bullet and get it from Blaze if I have to.
Yeah, I guess so. If I have, there's got to be. You know what they should do? They should, if you're in the U.S. or something, they should sell you a copy of it that doesn't have a Peggy logo on it. I mean, because they're making them, obviously. So,
that's funny. That's all you can. Oh my goodness!
You know what? Here's another idea. Just have a reversible cover. One side have the Peggy logo, and then if you don't like it, you flip it over, and you don't.
You need to go to therapy on that Peggy logo thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, what are some final thoughts? Things we're plugging for on our channels.
Well, Zacharia Pinball again. Every 2 weeks, new tables. So I got 3 new tables. I already played them. I have the footage. I just need to edit them. So maybe I'll have 3 videos of new tables in Zacharia Pinball next week.
Cool. What do you got going on, Pete?
Got a couple videos up for 2 different types of games. I got a kind of survival-based game up, and then I've got a Souls-like game up that I've been trying. Both one was kickstarted, the other's in early access. So I kickstarted the Mandragora one, and that's a pretty good game, but it's kind of hard. It's really Souls-like. I got a new toy. I put a video up for my channel members. So finally said I was going to go and get my Game Boy Advance properly modded and all that kind of stuff. So I got a new screen on it, USB-C, all new buttons.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
So you did that,
I did a video of it for my channel members, and then I got a new video up for channel members for first premiering with them right now. So yes, a bunch of content coming.
I did that too.
Oh yeah, no, this is really good. So I've been playing Mario Pinball on it. Actually, this game I've been playing.
And I've got an easy flash cart in there. But did you do the thing where the buttons light up?
No, I didn't do it. Somebody I know modded. Yeah, that would drive me nuts. So, but yeah, so lots of stuff going on. Yeah, it's a pretty cool device, and I'm really having fun with it. And like, I have an analog pocket, which I'm going to sell now because I have this. So
yes,
this is the only way you should play GBA games. Except the screen was garbage, right, when it came out. So now I got a beautiful screen on it, and like, I mean, it's really cool, and like, you know, it's just an awesome system.
Exactly.
How about this way of playing GBA games?
Oh, that's weird. So yes, I'm going to be selling my my GBA analog pocket. So, which is you know, not a bad device. It's just I don't like that. I'd rather have it like a clamshell. So
yes, you'd rather have it be horizontal, not vertical, and have like the right screen resolution and have it look the best. Yes,
Ian, I am getting season 2.
Oh, do you have to pay for it? Or I thought they would be free.
No, you only got season 1 for free.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I am getting season 2. Yeah. Because
I guess I'll
play date with me out the other day, because it's great when it's light out. You can actually see it. Plus, I got into trying. I'm like on my spare time when I do get it, I'm making another game for the play date. So
real quick, RMGB note. People assumed that they were going to do the GBA next. They never officially announced that the thing they're doing next has like 64 in the title of it. People were thinking N64 or Commodore 64. But no, for me, real quick, I think tonight I should be on later to stream again some cool stuff, maybe more Namco or not. And then next week, yes, I should have the Atari cart and the Tomb Raider cart, so I'll be excited to do videos off of that.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video probably on the Atari cart also, but I don't know if I'll do a Tomb Raider one. I don't know if people want me to have the same feedback I had on the first one. Like it's pretty much the same games, right?
Yeah, I thought about maybe I can actually not care that I haven't beaten the first one, and just maybe this one has the better controls and graphics, and it might be.
Were the newer Tomb Raiders on? They're on the PlayStation. Did they support the dual stick then? I wonder, or were they still tank controls?
Well, the third one definitely does support analog. Yeah. But I don't know if it supports dual stick. It may still be before those kind of controls were kind of standardized.
Yeah. I may have to test that plug-in.
Yeah, we need me and Crow need to get back and start talking again about that stuff.
The hot dog, yeah.
No, we're just going to talk about hot dogs again, just like we did before we started.
Yeah, now that it's not so busy anymore for me, it's like, I can definitely, life is not so busy at work.
There you go. Well, so that's what we got going on our channels. We appreciate everyone's support. All the things are in the descriptions below and all that. And I think we can go ahead and call it, and we'll Peggy 16, not the sequel to Mickey. Oh God. That movie.
Mickey's what? I don't get that. Mickey 17.
There's a movie Mickey 17 where he dies and keeps coming back. It's kind of
because you can Yeah, because the what do you call it's been released, right? The copyright protection. So
Well, that was Steamboat Willie, not Mickey Mouse.
well, I think they used that original Mickey Mouse caricature.
All right, yeah. I guess I just don't get it.
Yeah, well, I talked about that. So no, all good stuff, and I'm sure we could go on for another hour and a half. But we do have to end it, guys.
Yeah, I got to go to DMV and get a new license.
Yeah, fun stuff, adulting, fun stuff. All right, well, thanks everyone again so much. This has been awesome as always, and we'll see you
guys.
Bye bye. Thanks, Crashline, Immortal Sojourn, Amber Cummings, Joe Whitlush, Alex Groot.